You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your number one source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith. Johnson.
The AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California. Presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AFTERBUZZ TV's Banshee After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Banshee After Show.
Hey there, Banshees. You know what time it is. It's time for AFTERBUZZ TV's Banshee After Show. We're here talking about episode 202, season 2, episode 2, The Thunder Man. I am Matt Lieberman. Joining me today, of course, is the fantastic and talented Miss Oriana Leo.
Hello, everybody.
Yes. Monis Rose, unfortunately, not joining us this week. He's out at Sundance.
Poor him.
Yeah, I know. He didn't get to talk about this episode, and he didn't get to talk to our very special guest this week, the fantastic Trieste Kelly Dunn, who plays Deputy Siobhan Kelly on the show, is joining us on the phone.
And we are so excited to talk to her because this episode, wow.
I know.
I mean, amazing. We learned so much about her.
So much about her, and just a wonderful performance from her, and we got to see her kick some butt.
Some serious
butt. Some serious, like, not just like any kind of butt.
Right.
Okay, we're talking about abusive ex-husband.
Abusive ex-husband burning your neck with a curling iron kind of butt.
I know.
Wow.
And just like heartbreaking to hear, to like see that that's her background and that she had to deal with that, and it kind of really informs who she is.
Yep.
We had the war between Kai and Alex Longshadow escalate in a big way.
Yep.
We got to see some creep. What?
That was a
yeah.
move.
Oh yeah, that was a move. Poor cows. Oh, poor dead cows.
Yeah.
I know. We got to see some creepy inner thoughts on the part of Rebecca Bowman, which we're going to talk about at length.
Rebecca.
We got to see a sweet Job dress.
Yes,
and
Job in a
beautiful
dress.
Blonde wig.
Woo!
Yeah. And, you know, Sugar got in there for a little bit, mix it up.
Just another episode of Banshee, our favorite show.
Yes. So while we're waiting on Trieste, I keep wanting to call her Siobhan.
I know,
because like
Kelly is the one name we have in common with her actual name and her character name.
Yeah. We're so excited to have her. She's been in TV. She's done movies. She was in United 93, which was a huge Oscar-nominated docudrama, among other films. She's been on Fringe. She's been on Canterbury's Law, but obviously we love her the most here. And I guess we can just kind of jump in to this story, and we'll talk to her more about it once we have her on the line. So Siobhan is she's coming to the caddy like any other night, and who should pop up but Breece, her ex-husband, long-haired guy, is saying that he's only here because he's got a job offer from his cousin, but it means that it voids his restraining order. And Siobhan knows that she should just say, get out of here or I'll arrest you. You're avoiding your restraining order. But she's a good person.
Now, my question is, did we know before? We didn't really know about this story.
No.
We didn't know her backstory, her history, that she had been abused.
Yeah.
Because when he came into town, I mean, my first thought was, if you have a restraining order against someone, there's a really good reason, and don't violate or nullify that.
Oh, yeah.
But you could see her waver, and it was like, okay, there's some weakness there. She's always putting on a strong front, except for Sheriff Hood.
Wow. Yeah, but she's still...
She's a strong woman.
She's a strong woman, you know. I wouldn't say she gets weak in the knees for Sheriff Hood. I'd say she gets strong in the heart.
Strong in the heart. But, I mean, we never see a moment of weakness with her. She's a great deputy. She does her job really well. She kicked ass in that final scene of the last season.
Oh, yeah. But I guess what we're getting at here is that has to come from somewhere.
Right.
That need to, be tough. Comes from somewhere, and we kind of see where it came from this week. Namely, that she's got this history with this horrible guy who would get drunk and make her feel terrible about herself, who would physically and verbally abuse her.
Yes.
It got really bad. Like, we see that flashback to their night together at the club. Right, and we kind of just see a little bit of it where, she's dancing, he's too busy drinking. And I think we have Trieste on the line. Trieste, are you with us?
I am. Hi, guys.
Hey. Thank you so much.
How you doing?
We're doing great. Thank you so much for joining us.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. We also want to wish you a happy belated birthday.
Happy birthday.
Oh my gosh, how did you know?
Well, it happens to be out there on your IMDb profile, but
Yeah.
we want to wish you happy birthday.
there's that.
Mine's tomorrow, so January birthdays are the best.
Oh, well, okay.
Whose birthday is
This
it
is
tomorrow?
Oriana speaking, and my birthday's tomorrow.
Oh my gosh, that's great. Happy birthday.
Thanks.
Yeah, happy early birthday, Oriana.
You're welcome.
All right.
So wait, are you a Capricorn or an Aquarius?
I'm half and half is what I like to say.
What does that mean?
Okay,
Is
yeah.
that, are they...
Oh, wait a second. Oh no, my grandma's birthday is today. Never mind.
I'm born on the cusp, but I'm more of a Capricorn than I am an Aquarius.
Are they two great tastes that taste great together?
Yes.
Okay.
It's like a swirl. It's great.
Okay, great.
Moving on.
Back
Trieste,
to...
we're so happy to have
Yeah.
you on our show.
I'm so happy to be here.
And what an amazing episode. Your
Yeah.
performance was absolutely amazing.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
It was fun.
We were really excited to finally get some of your backstory, and what a story it was. Siobhan is such a tough person. She really puts up with a lot of stuff, but we didn't know exactly how far she's come until we saw this relationship with Breece, which is just heartbreaking.
Yes, I know. They hinted at it in season 1. But
what was the hint?
I kind of knew, but they didn't tell me the details.
Oh.
But they said it was, the backstory was sort of, those seeds were planted season 1.
Okay. So tell me about it. So you're coming into this new season, and Jonathan, David, and Greg, were they just kind of like, oh, we have plans for you, because we have this backstory, we have this epic kiss with Sheriff Hood, which fans have been waiting for since season 1.
Mm-hmm.
How did you feel?
No, it was actually Jonathan initially wrote. So that episode, he initially wrote it that Lucas comes into my trailer and that he was gonna go fight the guys.
Right.
But evidently they thought that that had been done before, because the first season he fights those biker guys for me, the biker guys that burned my house down.
Right.
Yeah.
So they just agreed. I guess they all thought that I should just fight my ex-husband. So that's how that went.
Pretty epic scene, by the way. How was it filming that?
It was crazy. I broke a wall at one point. I had to, Peter, the actor playing Breece, he's great. And we rehearsed the fight scene a lot, but then when we got on the stage, the room was pretty small, and I had to, there's a few moves that aren't, there's a few things that they didn't, cut in there, but I throw him against a wall really hard. I kind of shove him into this wall, and at one point the wall just separated from the other wall.
Oops.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it was really crazy, though, because it's just Ivana has done so many of them now. Anthony's done a million. I mean, he just, at this point, I think, is just please, I don't want to do any more fights. Because, you get you just get beat up, and then rehearsing them is exhausting, too. But because it was kind of the first one I'd done for the show, I was just stoked and thought it was really fun.
Yeah, and it was also a great twist, as you were kind of saying, where we think, okay, she's letting Sheriff Hood go and take care of this, but actually, no, she's taking care of the dirty work herself. This is the last time she's going to get put in a corner, and she just levels this guy, starts beating him with a holy Bible of all things.
A bloody Bible.
I just found it so funny. I thought it was so funny. Sheriff Hood, he grabs a Bible and he sees it, he just starts giggling.
I thought it was a really...
right. Yeah, he has that great moment. I know. That's a great moment that Anthony has.
He sure does. I thought it was super risky for your character because he literally could have killed you. So there had to have been some kind of confidence of going over there, sending Sheriff Hood the opposite direction, and Deputy Siobhan going over there to handle things herself. How do you feel about that choice?
Well, Siobhan, I mean, honestly, she doesn't like, part of her character and in season 1 too is that she hates it when people do things for her. It's like she doesn't want to have to be like the girl that other guys are protecting, and that's just kind of part of her spine in a way. But I think with the Breece thing, I mean, have you ever just wanted revenge so bad, or have you ever just wanted to hurt somebody? I mean, not even in a violent way. I mean,
sometimes
obviously not everybody wants to beat the crap out of somebody, but you know, it's like it was. I think that need to just do it yourself, just get back at somebody.
Oh yeah.
For, you know, just beating you down too much, and that's like that's left a huge chip on her shoulder, I think, too.
Oh, absolutely. You know, he had taken so much from her, so much of her personality. I imagine when they were together, you know, feeling trapped, feeling like you can't really escape, you can't be yourself. This guy is so irrational and, you know, compulsively violent.
Yeah. Yeah, but the funny thing is, it's just Peter was we had so much fun doing it that it's like it's hard to even think of it as, it was just fun. I just keep wanting them to bring that character back so that like Peter and I can like fight more. He's just a fun actor to fight with, and honestly, he's in all these. I've seen him in so much off-Broadway theater in New York and Broadway theater too. And he's just got like he's the guy that he's good at fighting. He's good at yelling. He's good at being scary. And as a result, it ends up being, sometimes the stuff that doesn't look fun is fun. You know what I mean? Like that I don't know. It's like like the curling iron thing. Everybody's like, oh, that's hard to watch. But that was not so bad shooting that at all. Like it was kind of.
I imagine the curling iron wasn't actually hot.
Of course not. Of course not.
Because you played it so well, and the sound effects, and I mean, it really is like just cringe-inducing.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's so funny. And now I use one of those, you know those little, like, cone-shaped curling irons?
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Why am I the one who says
now,
yeah?
And they come with a glove.
Yes.
So
It's a
glove.
wand. Okay, Matt Lieberman, it's a wand, and it
Okay.
comes with a glove so you don't burn your hand.
Oh, well, that's clever.
Isn't it?
Yeah, and you wrap your hair around it, and I don't have the glove, and I keep burning my hand in the same place over and over again. And it's weird. It's like I'm like, oh my God, I know what this curling iron pain feels like now. It's awful. I constantly have these little like red marks on my wrist where I'm burning my hand from that stupid thing.
Oh, man. So obviously you had a lot of fun shooting this one. Is this your favorite episode that you filmed, or something in season 1, something a little later on this season?
Yeah, I think probably 2. Yeah, probably 2 is one of my favorites. I also like the next one coming up. Episode 3 is really great.
Ooh.
This awesome Danish director directed it, OC, and OC Madsen.
He directed the third one and the fourth one this season.
Yeah, he did the 3rd and the 4th. And there's sort of like, there's, I don't want to give anything away, but it's just, there's something happens, something bad happens, and we kind of have to figure it out. And there's some more fights, and obviously there's more fights. There's always that.
There's always
more
some
fights.
More interesting stuff happens.
We call this genre of the show, we call it blood and boobies, but we really like it.
Yeah. It's obviously
it's
a
my
lot
favorite
smarter.
Best thing to call it.
It's my favorite genre.
Yeah.
I mean, it's blood and boobies, but really well written.
It's really, really smart. but
Smart blood and
Who doesn't
boobies.
like boobs? You know, no. there's
Nobody.
out there that doesn't
I
like
can't
boobs.
think of a single person I know who does not like boobs.
Now, Trieste, I'd like to ask
Everybody
you
likes boobs.
what it's like to shoot this show. You're shooting in North Carolina, correct?
Yes.
And what is it like on set? I mean, you're rehearsing these, intense, purposefully violent or sexual scenes. What is the feeling like on set?
The feeling on set is, the cast loves each other so much. I have never seen this kind of chemistry between the cast before.
It's quite a small
Lily
clap.
Simmons and I live together, first off, which is like, we're roommates in Charlotte for 2 years now. And then Ivana, probably this year we're all going to live together. Usually we're all at each other's house all the time anyway. But it's just, everybody just is crazy about each other. So even when we're shooting like violent scenes and you're seeing like blood and guts all day, we're a family, and it's a really close family. Like we're always, going out to dinner together. We just do everything together.
It sounds like that you're saying that most of the female members of the cast live together.
Well, kind of. Technically, like we don't all live, but we're together all the time.
So it's kind of like the Banshee
Odette,
sorority
Odette
house.
was there because Odette wasn't in as many episodes, but I think Odette stayed at Ivana's house. I don't think she stayed at the hotel. I think she stayed at Ivana's house.
Oh,
That's
man.
amazing.
So yeah, we got this little Banshee sorority. If next season, if you all live together, then it's a whole deal.
We could start a reality show about it.
Yeah. I know. I mean, it really could be. And I mean, Matt Lieberman, who plays Brock, I mean, him and I we're best friends. I mean, we go out and drink together. I mean, it's just fun. Everybody loves each other. And so
it shows,
that's what makes it, I think, the world of difference. Because if you're on a show where people hate each other, that's just awful.
So you and Deputy Brock you and Deputy Brock go out drinking together?
Oh my gosh, we're like always. For season 1, him and I, because we're both New Yorkers.
Yeah.
Most of the cast is like from Matt and I are New Yorkers. Like we live here, and we were always like, anybody want to go out for a drink? And there's a few, people on the show that don't drink or don't drink as much as we do, I guess.
Boring.
Season 1, not out all the time.
Do you have can you tell us any epic stories? Anything crazy that might have happened?
Oh, I shouldn't. Well, okay, I'm going to though. Okay,
yeah.
so I think it was after we did our read through of episode 1, season 1, Ulrich, Matt Lieberman, and I, we were the last men standing at the party. There was a party, and I think Jonathan Tropper and David Schiffler, the writers, they took us out to drinks, and we were still up. So we decided to go into the hotel, the Omni, which is where we were staying, and they have all these banquet rooms that they were setting up for the morning. I mean, it was probably 4 a.m. They were setting them up for breakfast, and because they were having some corporate events. And we went into one of these rooms, and there was a table full of cereal boxes, and we just started throwing cereal boxes at each other. And then we get into an elevator. We stole the cereal boxes. I don't know.
This is great.
It sounds so stupid now that I'm talking about it. But this was the first night that we had all met, I mean, we end up in the Omni Hotel playing on the elevator and throwing cereal boxes at each other in the conference room.
Sounds amazing.
That's beautiful. It's so funny to imagine Matt and Ulrich joining in with you on that. That's so funny.
Also, great type of missile protection, and they don't hurt when they hit you, right?
It's true.
They don't hurt when they hit you, and they were just these awesome pyramids of cereal boxes. And in our, we were just so excited. We're starting a new show. We just started launching them at each other.
That's awesome.
And then we stole some, and then we went and raided somebody's mini fridge and drank more. And then Ulrich and I were talking about, I think, I don't know. He's been in all these amazing Danish films that I'm a huge fan of. So obviously we had to. It was just everybody had to. We had to have a wild night and bond like that. And then the next day, I think we all were very hungover, and we went and saw a comedian in Charlotte somewhere, and Anthony came as well. And we immediately bonded. Everybody was immediately hanging out, and that's kind of what makes. Honestly, that's the best thing about the show.
That's awesome.
It really shows in the performances.
Yeah. So what can you tell us? So the fans especially picked up on this bubbling chemistry between your character and Anthony's in the first season, and now in this episode it climaxes. And you kiss. What's the draw there? What do you think is the attraction between Siobhan and Sheriff Hood? Can you tell us anything about what to expect or where you'd like it to go?
I think season 1 she was suspect of him, but obviously, she lives in Banshee. There's not so many sexy guys in Banshee. It's like Slim Dickens over there.
Totally.
It's like all the beautiful women and no beautiful men.
Yeah, what's that about?
So he's in town, he's a boss, he, is good at fighting.
He has a nice butt.
No, but then there's moments where she's very suspect of him, and she's like, who is this guy? And I think it's a big, she knows she shouldn't get involved, So there's an obstacle there, but they obviously want to get, she has a huge crush on him, I'll put it that way.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when you see somebody level this many bad guys and just kind of take the law into his own hands, especially considering her background as someone who was in this abusive relationship, somebody who just is willing to do what is right no matter what,
right,
is kind of a big deal and probably a major turn on.
Someone that could keep her safe.
Yeah, exactly. Right. I mean, I don't think she's necessarily condoning his violent acts, but at the same time, I think, what lady isn't turned on by a man who can take charge?
Hey, I agree.
And also, he's somebody who could keep her safe, but also trusts her to get the job done and doesn't feel the need to protect her. He's helping her keep this thing buried because he realizes how important it was for her.
Totally, absolutely.
Yeah.
One thing I noticed actually in this scene was that they're kissing and they're kind of in this moment, they are the same in the sense that they're both these brutal fighters, survivors, and both suffered this PTSD from horrible traumas they've been through. And that's something that they can relate to each other.
That's a good observation. I think that's so astute because they both are very alone and solitary in their own way, and they both are recovering from a variety of terrible things that have been done to them.
Yeah.
And what better way to connect than, the little love making. I hope it happens.
Make out after a bloody fight all over your lips.
I'm rooting for it to happen.
Right? I think we're on Team Siobhan.
Yeah, Team Siobhan for sure.
Team Siobhan all the way.
Whatever that means, we just want her to be happy.
Yeah. Oh no, I know what it means. I want them together. I think. What?
Did you guys think it was gross when I kissed him with blood all over my mouth?
No way, it was hot.
Yeah, he totally loved it.
Yeah, no, that's hot.
That's funny.
That's what makes Banshee.
Yeah.
Sheriff Hood is just blood and boobies.
Exactly.
Blood. There you go, blood and boobies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect. Okay, I'm just going to take a quick second and talk to our listeners about iTunes briefly. Trieste, thank you so much for coming on the show. And
thanks for having me.
Yeah, we're going to recap the rest of the episode. If you want to stick around and give your thoughts on the other stories, we'd love to have you.
Okay, do you want me to? That's fine.
We'd
or
love
you guys can recap it too if you want.
Okay. I'm just going to talk really quickly about iTunes. Folks, thank you so much for downloading this podcast, listening to it on YouTube. Banshees are the best fans in the entire world. And we are so happy to be doing this show. It's a free podcast. You downloaded it for free. You're watching it for free. We get great guests like Trieste, like Jonathan Tropper.
Greg Utanis is coming on for episode 5.
Greg Utanis is coming on. We've got, hopefully, some other guests later in the season. Not yet confirmed. I don't want to leak them yet. But fact is, it's a big deal. What can you do to help us out? As you might be wondering. You might be wondering. We don't want your money. We don't want much of your time. All we want you to do, go to iTunes, slap the show with a rating. We love 5 stars. I think we're doing a 5-star job
Me too.
here. Oriana thinks so too. If that's not how you feel, then don't lie to yourself. Don't put a rating that you don't believe in. But 5 is preferable. And leave us a review. Let us know what you think of the show, what you think of Banshee. What could we be doing better? Points that we may have missed. We want to know your feedback, your theories. This is so important to us. Here's why. This is the only way that this show gets ranked on iTunes and on AfterBuzz TV. We want to be the #1 Banshee podcast on iTunes. We want to be the #1 show here on AfterBuzz TV. We need your help to do it. It only takes a second, a couple of clicks, a couple of words. We love you. Peace.
And also, you know what, YouTubers, if you're watching us on YouTube, please comment. We love your feedback.
Yeah.
We'll respond, Google Plus, whatever it is, whatever the means.
Yeah, the Twitter.
We want on the Twitter. If you're on the Twitter or the Facebook, we love you. We love you, Banshees, and we want to hear what you have to say.
All right. Okay, so the other big story we had this week, we kind of got into the mind of Rebecca Bowman pretty intimately at the top of this episode. Where she's masturbating. Can I say masturbating?
Yes, she's masturbating.
I think I can.
She is.
Yeah, mostly.
She's remembering her time with Sheriff Hood, as she is also.
Getting some digital enjoyment.
Fantasizing about Kai?
Or the thoughts are kind of blending together of memories of Sheriff Hood and then also watching Kai
do his kung fu on the stick thing.
And on that prostitute.
Oh, right.
And his stick kung fu on the prostitute. And there's this kind of weird energy, and we're wondering, okay, like we talked about it a little bit last week, where, she comes from a place where sexuality is kind of shunned and repressed. She has all these feelings that she doesn't really know where to place them, and I'm kind of worried that she's placing them in the wrong place in the wrong way.
And we see throughout the episode too, I mean, she just doesn't know where to go. She doesn't know who her family has shunned her. The only person that has reached out an arm, the only two people that have reached out arms are Kai and Sheriff Hood. And as Sheriff Hood says, your uncle's a bad guy and you shouldn't be living with him. And what does she say? You should let me live with you. And he goes, I'm not a good guy either.
Trieste, what do you think about this story? Does it kind of weird you out? I mean, you and Lily are obviously very good friends. You live together while you're shooting the show.
I love where that's going, I think. I think it's just weird, and I buy it, I mean, there's something so wrong about it, and like Lolita about it, and so that's what happens, right? She sees her uncle with what's her name, Juliet.
Yeah.
And then that's what starts the masturbating, right?
Yeah, she saw him last episode, and now she can't stop thinking about it. She watched it, and now she's thinking about it.
Ooh, it's just so creepy. I don't know. I really like where that's going.
Okay, well, I'm going to take that. Since you're saying that it's creepy and you also like where it's going, it's only going to get creepier. Which
maybe.
Yeah, which I don't mind at all. Banshee is a wonderful place where we can let creepy things run free.
Anything can happen.
It's a fantasy land where people can just fight a million people and still be alive.
Mm-hmm.
And still be alive and not even have a black eye.
Yeah, exactly.
Just a little cut with some blood coming out of it.
Exactly. So Alex is kind of losing control of the tribal council in the Kanaho tribe, and at the same time, Rebecca, after leaving Kai's place, she goes to search for Sheriff Hood, and there's these Marines outside. They're hooting, they're hollering, they're being really rude, and Sheriff isn't home. They start trying to assault her, and for a second I'm like, oh God, no.
Yeah.
Oh God, no.
I can't handle this. I can't handle this poor girl going through anything else and getting even more messed up and sexually violated and confused and... Oh, and then you're like, oh no, someone's going to save her. I was thinking it must be Sheriff Hood. Dun, 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 dun.
Not so. Nola comes in and just levels these dudes, and she's like, don't thank me yet. Chloroform to the face, kidnapped, oh snap. And, Kai enlists Sheriff Hood's help to get her back.
Fight scene, hello.
Yeah, well, that's what I love, because while we had action in the season opener, we didn't really have any good fights, and I felt like I almost started giggling, like oh man, they were like, you know what, we didn't really have any fights in the first episode. Let's just have a 10-minute long endless fight scene. Like even Sheriff Hood at some point is just kind of like,
oh my God, give me a break.
All right, and he kicks the guy through the plate glass window.
I have to say the cinematography on that, there was a scene where they're on the stairwell.
Yeah.
It was a kind of a wide shot. It was beautiful. And he kind of sighs and it's just like, oh God, not again. And you can really feel for him.
Yeah.
And he's having all these flashbacks to his prison time. And you just can't imagine what it's like to be in this character's head.
Mm-hmm. Well, no, you can't. You can't imagine it, especially someone who 15 years of that.
15 years.
And like things,
the albino.
Exactly. That's exactly what I flashed to.
Yeah.
Terrifying.
Trieste, what do you think? When did you see this episode?
I actually didn't see it that recently, but I know what scene you're talking about, and I just know what's funny is I just think of Anthony's internal thought process probably before he's going to do it. But like I know he thinks that they're he's great at them, and he's like gotten just so good at them. But I think he's probably in a similar place that Lucas Hood is, which is fuck, I have to do this again.
Right. Which I think any normal thinking person would. I mean, I think he might even be transitioning from less hair trigger, in his violence, because I think he might be sick of it. You can see that little bit of him where he's like, ugh.
He's tired.
He is tired.
Yeah.
He should be tired.
He has to settle down. He needs to retire.
Exactly. Become like maybe a normal sheriff.
Retire.
With a deputy for a wife, perhaps.
There you go. That's what Siobhan would like.
Yeah. Just hang up the fists. Hang up the fists for good. Do some paperwork.
Yeah, right.
So he fights his way through this entire just mob of goons and gets all the way to the unfinished pool of the VIP area at the Kanaho Moon. And he pulls out his gun, and there's Nola, who immediately disarms him, and he has a moment of recognition of like, what? And I'm curious, both of you, and Trieste, obviously you probably know a lot more than we do, but like Oriana, did Nola know who Sheriff Hood was when she slept with him?
Totally.
Okay, that was like a calculated move?
I think it was.
It was like figuring out the opposition and seeing what his weaknesses were?
My read on that scene was that, I mean, she sat down next to him, she ordered that she was 25, and she was like, where's your place? It wasn't just like, this is the only hot piece of ass in Banshee. This is the only hot piece of ass.
Although that is a part of it.
It is a part of it, but this is the only hot piece of ass that I better own if I want to get what I want to get.
Okay.
Which is my tribe.
That's interesting. I didn't even think of that. You're probably right. I didn't even think of that. I just thought she was just sexually aggressive, and he was the only good-looking man in town.
I think she is sexually aggressive, but I don't trust her.
Let's not knock Deputy Yoners, okay? Demetrius is a beautiful man.
To me,
well,
yes, he is.
Of course.
But is he available?
He is a beautiful man.
Yeah,
when
but
are they
he
going
is
to take
married.
his shirt off is what I want to know.
Yeah.
Good
when are we going to
question.
get the Demetrius Gross sex scene?
Yeah.
That's what we want.
That's
I mean, he looks like a superhero. I've, like, seen him in the gym. He is so tall and, like, just so built. He used to be...
Banshees, hashtag. We need to start a campaign.
Yeah.
I know, right? Like, I mean, there could be a few more men with their shirt off.
Yeah,
I think, on
there
this
can
show.
always be a few more men with their shirts off. But that was my take on it, was that she, not only is she sexually aggressive, but she's the one that's trying to steer everything that's going on with the Kanaho tribe.
Yeah.
And her brother is
Right.
so weak and pathetic that she's the one that has, not only does she have the superpowers, physically, her gun handling skills, but then on top of it, she can just have the cherry on top of like, oh yeah, banged him. Mm-hmm. Now he's going to do what I want.
Well, I mean, he doesn't necessarily do what she wants.
But he did for a second, he was kind of like, whoa.
Well, he was thrown. Anyone would be.
That's what she got out of it.
Okay, fine. But he doesn't do what she wants. He still undoes her whole, misguided kidnapping plot. Rescues Rebecca.
Yes.
Who, as you said earlier, she's like, let me come live with you. And he's just like, bad idea.
And at least he made a good decision. I mean, I think earlier, like last season, he would have been like, well, let me think about it. Banger. And then be like, no.
Oh, I don't know that he would. Yeah, I know, but I don't know he'd open himself up to that much trouble, especially now knowing that she's Kai's niece, nephew, Lord.
Yeah, you're right, but still, he's changed a lot.
Yeah. What do you
he's coming around.
I think that, having everyone come and save him at the end of last season is a big part of that, realizing that people here do care about him. He's inadvertently put down some roots. What do you think, Trieste?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think he's trying. I think season 2 for him is about, like, he's trying to be a good sheriff.
Yeah.
Even though he doesn't even know what that means.
He's trying. Like, he's trying more. He doesn't just... He fights if he has to, but he doesn't. It's not the first thing that he goes to.
Oh, absolutely.
I thought it was really interesting when Sugar in the bar, he says, you didn't think about what would happen to Carrie when you set up shop here, but when you do a 15-year stint, I mean, you're bound to make some mistakes, but what are you going to do next?
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of what he's struggling with right now.
Well, I mean,
not just Carrie, but everyone.
Well, when Jonathan came on the show and we did our interview, he talked about, the entire series in his head, kind of only lasts about 6 months. So that is a big question. What is Sheriff Hood going to do next? This situation obviously can't remain stable for long. And he's going to have to move on eventually.
Yeah, I know. The timeline is pretty condensed.
Yeah.
It's not like it's like we got back after shooting season 1 and then started season 2, and it felt like it had been, because it had been a year. But then when we were like getting into the scripts and we were discovering that the timeline, it was really just like a couple months.
Oh wow! So a couple months between seasons, essentially.
Well, no, this
between
was pretty,
the storyline.
This was pretty immediate because
they had recovered a little bit from their wounds from the shootout.
Maybe a
month.
Like Brock still has a limp, because he's been shot in the leg.
Now I have a question. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Trieste. Brock is in the beginning of this scene investigating something, and I thought he was on.
He's investigating the dead bodies of Kai's goons that got killed in the first episode.
But I thought he was on probation for 18 months.
They're all on probation.
But I thought he was. Oh, so probation means he can still work.
He can still work. It's, it's what? It's like docking pay and, just basically, like, if you slip up again, you'll lose your badge.
For some reason, I thought they had debadged him or something.
That's a good question, though. I don't know what technically probation actually means. The way that we did it was that, yes, we still work, except for that we were aware that we were on probation, so don't be... so whenever we were doing something bad, we were like, "Oh, we're on probation."
Yeah, but
I don't think it's like we don't exactly play by the rules of real, cop stuff in Banshee because it's Banshee's not real.
Yeah.
You have to think about it. This probation is actually coming from Agent Racine, who's just trying to keep everyone there as a trap for rabbits. So it's also kind of possible that there was no paperwork even filed, that there is no real probation.
True.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I loved your fight scene, Trieste, the Siobhan versus Breece, with it being edited, interspliced with Carrie versus the inmate.
Oh my gosh.
That was...
Ivana is so good. She's like, when I saw that, it was just... She's amazing in that scene.
Absolutely. I mean, not to take it, because you were amazing in your scene, but she was incredible in her scene as well. And I loved the way it was edited, and the two of you are really like fighting for your lives, really, or fighting to make a point and getting it out, like you were saying. Mm-hmm. And I felt like it was juxtaposed so well.
Yeah, it's like she just breaks and goes apeshit on that woman, and it's just, she's brutal. She's brutal, and she's got her hair flipping all around. She's just so good at. Ivana is in love with doing stunts. Absolutely in love. Like, even if she doesn't have a fight scene to train for, she's like in working with the stunt guys. Most days, she goes in there and does something and works with them. She absolutely loves doing it.
Yeah, I'd like to see Malibu
and I love doing it too. She loves doing it even more than I love doing it. And she just is so good at it. Last year she did a lot of it last year as well.
Sure.
But now, she's just, and she trains off season as well.
Wow.
Oh man.
Wouldn't you say that Siobhan breaks too? Like Siobhan breaks against Breece, or is it different? Is it a different kind?
I feel like it's like a release of tension.
I definitely, there's like a break in
sends him to the hospital in a stretcher.
Beat the crap out of somebody with a baton. Mm-hmm. But that's like a slow, it's like she lets him in and is like, and giving him the benefit of the doubt. And,
right.
Demetrius Emmett has that line to me in the beginning where he's like, you want me to do something? And I'm like, no, he needs a job or something,
Yeah. I've changed a lot, and maybe he's changed too.
And then she has to just go crazy on him. She loses it.
Yeah. And it was delightful.
It was delightful.
Yeah. All right. Just wrapping up other things. Mm-hmm. So we got Carrie going to prison for her crimes.
Oh my gosh.
It's only a month, but still a stretch is a stretch. Inside is inside.
Can I tell you that's exactly what Sugar says. The first thing I think is Rabbit's going to try to have her killed. In prison. Yeah, because that's the easiest way to get to her. So that's my first instinct is, oh no, she's not safe. And then to have Lucas say, quiet time. Mm-hmm. And of course, the first thing she does is defend herself in the least quiet manner possible. And his flashbacks and his PTSD and his terror of being at that facility was so palpable. It just really made me feel for him as a character, that this is never going to go away for him.
Oh yeah. 15 years is a long time. That kind of weight doesn't go away.
No.
Period.
And to watch him have this panic attack, I thought it was played really well.
Yeah. It was a really well done sequence, and you saw his frustration when he's in the car. He just wishes that he could have saved her, he could have stopped her. Hey, Sugar's trying to tell him, you were inside for 15 years. A month isn't that bad, but he feels like he failed on some level.
Right.
You know, because the whole reason he went away was to make sure that she didn't go to jail. And now she's in jail because of it.
And they had that tender moment in the bar, you know, and she's broke and she's lost everything and she wants her kids and Deva won't even talk to her, you know, and I really feel for both of them, but I also feel like I don't feel any resolution coming.
Yeah. It's never going to be what it was. It's never going to be what he came to Banshee to get. And on the other side, we have Gordon, who's so completely lost and messed up. He's like
He's taking pills now?
Popping pills, getting handies in the car.
What is this going on?
I know. It's crazy. It's so crazy to see Gordon, you know,
downward
do that.
spiral.
Like, I love that character so much. I hate she seems to go down the dark road.
I think everyone's going to go down a dark road by the end of this show.
I wrote in my notes, I was like, who doesn't have PTSD or like severe emotional issues in Banshee in our story here? Like everyone's just trying to keep it together.
Yeah.
But to see Gordon go so fast, he seemed like he had it together before, but now it makes me question that because...
Well, I mean, he was smoking pot in the shower even way back in the pilot.
Smoking pot in the shower.
Matt,
He had the shoulder pain.
Oh,
shoulder was he playing that up a bit? Like he was smoking pot and sort of... Maybe that was just a backstory that I was privy to.
No, smoking pot in the shower, I just didn't take that as like, this is a gateway for him. I thought like, he's got a stressful job.
Right. But he's also hiding it from his family.
True. That's a good point.
That's the dark streak.
So he has this shoulder pain. So I guess that's something I didn't really pick up on.
Yeah. Well, when you have like a persistent...
Yeah, I think I probably knew that because there's like some backstory stuff. But I think it's like... I don't want to spoil his if that comes to light, but like I think what you said about PTSD, I think that's
right. Everybody has it, and we're going to find out their stories.
There's some demons in Gordon's past.
Oh, beautiful!
We love demons.
Yes, we do here at ABTV. Okay, if that's all, I think that's going to wrap us up. I think we're just going to go to predictions.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Okay, Oriana, predictions for the next episode?
Honestly, I think we just pretty much covered it about the PTSD because I really feel like every single character on the show has a past and some really impactful emotional trauma that is affecting their story today. Yeah. And so I think that in the further episodes 3 and ongoing, we're going to uncover more stories that will explain increasingly erratic behavior.
Okay. Having seen the next few episodes, it's not really fair for me to
you're not allowed
to do predictions, but I'm just going to say I hope that Siobhan and Sheriff Hood get closer together, and then that continues to grow. I love you two together. I think that you have great chemistry. And, yeah.
Well, I hope for Siobhan's sake that happens too, damn it. She's been too long for her.
Yeah. And besides, from Breece to Sheriff Hood, that's an upgrade. It's an upgrade and a half.
Well, not to mention, I mean, her house burned down. She's living in a trailer. Mm-hmm. Like, she was with that douchebag. Like, come on. The girl needs a break.
Mm-hmm.
She needs a break. She needs some action.
Some different kind of action. Jeez.
Stat.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much, Trieste, for joining us on the show. Where can folks find you online on Twitter?
My Twitter name is Trieste Kelly Dunn.
Mm-hmm. And do you have anything coming out soon that you wanna promote?
Oh, I do actually. An indie film that I shot actually a couple years ago before Banshee just had its New York release. It's called Loves Her Gun.
Ooh.
And I think you can get it on VOD, and it will be available on iTunes in 2 weeks, I think.
Okay, great.
Cool.
Thanks again for joining us. Love you on the show. Can't wait to see the rest of the season.
Thanks so much for having me.
Thanks,
it was great talking to you guys.
All right.
I'm glad you're such big fans.
We're the biggest fans. Thank you. All right.
Okay.
Bye.
All right, Oriana, where can the people find you?
The people can find me on Twitter at Miss Oriana Leo or Instagram at Oriana Leo. Facebook, I'm everywhere. Please find me. I want to be your friend.
Okay. And you can find me on Twitter at Matt Lieberman. That's MattLieberman. You can also find me here on AfterBuzz TV on a bunch of stuff. I'm not going to remember all of it. Sleepy Hollow is ending tomorrow night. So sad. We got Almost Human, Marvel's Agents Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Helix, which is a great new show on
That
Sci-Fi.
looks so
you
good.
should definitely check it out. We got Justified on FX. We got Sherlock for a couple more weeks.
Ooh, can I shout out American Horror Story is almost finishing 2 episodes left, and I'm on that after show. Please tune in.
Please tune in to that. Lost Girl starting up soon. Doctor Who Classics coming back this winter. Whole bunch of stuff. Everybody, I love you. I love you. I love you.
I love you too.
Have a good night.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Banshees rule.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.